Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name's Mariah.
And I'm Spencer.
We're a husband and wife real estate team here in the Willamette Valley. And we work with a lot of relocation clients. We get calls, texts, and emails from people like you all the time who are watching our YouTube videos and are thinking about relocating to our area, Salem, Oregon, or anywhere in the surrounding areas. And we absolutely love it. So if that's you, first of all, feel free to reach out. We'd love to work with you. We'd love to set up a home buyer consultation and get to know you and find out what it is you're looking for in a home and your game plan and get everything in place for you so we can know how to best serve you. But also, today's show is for you because we're going to just be answering some commonly asked questions about buying a home in our area. Some of them are just like home buyer questions in general. Some are more first-time buyer questions. So I hope that you'll grab some good value from it.
Oh, this is awesome because we are in a swing market, as I'd like to say, to a lot of my sellers or prospect clients, because we do deal with a lot of heavy listings.
Yeah, we do.
But we love to help our area with buyers especially, and that is what the good agents do, though. We're always getting re-educated on what's happening in the market, and I mentioned it having a swing to it for a reason. We're seeing things we have not seen in years right now.
Yes.
And it's like kind of off-putting for some realtors. They're getting nervous. They're getting scared.
Yeah.
They're jumping down to smaller brokerages. I know a handful of brokers doing that already. Because of smaller brokerages, they have a smaller flat fee for every listing.
Yeah.
But they don't have the resources like we do.
They don't have the resources. Can I just say something about the market too?
Please.
We weren't planning on doing a market update, but
Why not?
here we are.
We talk freely, by the way. This is an unscripted show. Mariah has notes. We're talking freely.
Yes.
That's what I love about it.
Yes. So about the market, I do feel like there's a little bit of panic because things are changing. Things a year ago, if you watched our videos a year ago, we were giving you market updates talking about how if you want an offer accepted, we're definitely going to be writing like 20 grand over at least. And that's like the bare minimum to get accepted. And I'm not exaggerating because that's what it took to get an offer accepted a year ago.
Crazy.
It was insane. And I'm seeing a lot of agents panic, but they're mostly agents who have only been in the business since like, this kind of all started around, 2020, this is kind of when things started. And they've only really been in the business from the time this craziness, this madness has been going on, but they don't remember times when even in, 2018, I feel like things,
18, 17,
they were pretty,
16.
It was pretty slow. Like not slow as in not people not buying or selling, but it was slow as in homes would sit on the market for a couple months. And we weren't panicking about it back then.
We thought it was good.
Right,
we thought it was
good.
normal.
And I'm thankful that's happening now because now we are seeing days on market go up a little bit. And people are panicking, but because homes aren't selling in 2 hours, like with 20 offers. But I'm super thankful because that's not a healthy market. I'm really glad things are returning to a little bit more normal market. And with that being said, in our area at least, it is still a seller's market. Don't get me wrong. We are still have more, buyers than inventory. We're still low on inventory. It's not a buyer's market, but it is good for you as a buyer because things are less competitive. There is a little bit less, you don't have to be writing 20 grand over on every single offer, plus on every offer, waiving the appraisal to get under contract. It's easier to get under contract. Now, don't get me wrong. We still are seeing multiple offers. I was just showing some homes in the like 500, 550, upper fives, to upper fives range this last week. And they were on market a little longer than usual. That said, they did all get multiple offers. And we didn't end up writing, so I don't know how high, for that particular instance. But so don't get me wrong, it's
that
competitive,
market, though.
But it sure is
but
a
I
lot
think it's
better
funky.
than
I think
before.
it's really funky, and here's why.
What?
I have a listing right now, and it's really educating me personally on rural areas, a little bit further out of Salem, but also kind of what buyers are thinking,
What?
like the swing of interest rates rising. There's uncertainty in their minds, and that's totally okay. That's normal. So what happens? Usually you get an offer, someone gets cold feet, goes back on market. So this home sat on market for like 5-6 days. No questions asked. No calls, no texts.
I think it's the area. If it was in Salem, it wouldn't have happened.
But check it out.
What?
Check it out. It's rural.
It's very rural.
I have 3 offers in my inbox right now. And that was just over the last weekend. And this is approaching, I think, 14 to 18 days on market now.
Because there was a sale fill.
Because there was a sale fill.
So
I got an accepted offer day 2, by the way.
Yeah.
But
there was only one offer as opposed to 20.
There was only one offer, one showing.
Yeah.
So we've had multiple showings now over the last week. Probably I'd say 7. Out of those 7, we got 3 offers over this weekend. So that tells me be patient and willing to wait. And tell your clients, hey, I don't think we should do a price reduction quite yet. Yeah. Understand the market, because I feel like people are expecting price reductions right away after 7 to 10 business days.
Like other agents
agents are just because of the fear. They're scared that their listing isn't going to sell now. And they want to do everything they can for their client
because
to
they've
sell
only
it,
been in a market
been their hire.
Where homes sell in 2 days.
And that's another factor. These new agents, they've only been in markets where, man, it sells in 5-7 days. Their phones, hey, can I set up a showing? Can I set up a showing? Now it's getting a little bit more quieter.
Yeah.
And remember, it'd be like one showing a week.
But it's still, but it's still even more competitive than like what I remember. I feel like I've spent more time of my career in the days of, especially when I was working with more listings and less buyers at this time. I remember when it was very common, like every listing would sit, 6 months was normal. I didn't pay, if a house was on the market for 6 months, I was never like, oh my gosh, it isn't going to sell. Like we knew it was going to sell. It was just more of a matter of time. And you call the sellers every week and check in. Hey, nothing new. Like that was common then.
That.
I know that was, it wasn't like you'd have all these listings and they'd sit on the market a long time. It wasn't like this market where, like I said, things sell in a day, and now things are it's still competitive, but we are seeing a little bit longer and a little bit less offers. So I hope that kind of paints, I guess it's good to paint a picture going into our conversation about things you want to know as a buyer, things buyers are asking us lately about buying in our area. I hope that paints a good picture of what to expect right now. And things are changing. Things change rapidly. Nothing would surprise me, but that's where we're at right now. I don't know. What do you think interest rates are going to do?
They're going to progress. They're going to go up slowly but surely, for sure. And I think that's going to weaken the market, certainly on buyer's side, which is going to, drive days on market even higher. I believe things are going to sit longer, and that's going to cause more price reductions, price decreasing, and it's going to level out. It's not going to be a collapse. It's going to be a level. To bring people into reality. But then ultimately what's really got my mind and attention is the inflation with food prices, 4 times the amount it used to be, across the globe. This isn't just in our nation. This is across the globe.
Yeah.
And that is something that's really a keynote to consider. But everybody needs a roof over their head. That's what I've come to realize. As a young adult, as a father of a 3-year-old almost now, it's very important to support my family as a man, but then also put a roof over our head at any cost. Whether that's renting or buying, there could be hard times, but right now we're in a really, really graceful period. You're seeing all the new cars being sold. We're on car lots. You see homes, they're being purchased. Don't get me wrong. We're in a seller's market, but we are seeing more negotiations when the buyers are submitting offers. Buyers are asking for more. Buyers are saying more on the inspection list or more in the closing costs. And sometimes sellers are willing to do it. But if we're in that multiple offer situation, like we are in oftentimes, not every offer is the right offer. And that's the communication factor to be relying on the agent you select, whether it's the seller's agent or the buyer's agent. Buyer's agent submits offers, seller agents help sell the home.
Yeah.
They battle on each other. They're your negotiators. So think about that. Our front door's open.
Here's another thing I just thought of too. Because a lot of buyers will ask me, so how much do I realistically need to offer right now to get an offer accepted
Those are
on
so
a home?
hard.
And that is so difficult because at the end of the day, a big thing for me as an agent is I need to call the listing agent. Not every not every realtor is going to do that as a buyer's agent. A lot of buyer's agents
crazy?
don't do that, which is crazy to me because I'm like,
It used to be you meet
What?
me for lunch and
Yeah.
present the
Well-
offer. I've done that like once or twice in my lifetime. I thought it was amazing. It was an old school agent. I thought it was
funny.
cool.
I've never done that one. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I can't just tell you how much I think you should offer on the home because especially right now with how the market is, it's going to be so circumstantial. Every home is going to be so different. Like a home that is in a certain neighborhood in South Salem, that's like a hot location everyone wants to live in, it's move-in ready, could be still uber competitive. And we're going to have to be very competitive and strong with our offer versus a home that's out in the, how far is Mill City? 45 minutes from Salem, outside of Salem?
About 40.
Up in the mountains, the canyon, less buyers looking
Straight
out
drive,
there.
22 through the canyon.
That will probably be less competitive. And so it really just depends. Or a home that's, say, like a 0 lot line home, we might be able to get that at ask price versus a home that is a regular residential home. So there's just so many factors, and it really comes down to I got to call the listing agent, get as much information as I can out of them about the seller's motivation and how many offers they've had, if any, have they turned down any offers yet, like where they're at, how, like all of that. And of course, they legally cannot tell us, like, because we get asked this a lot, they can't tell us anything about the other offers. But we can at least sometimes get some insight. And then there are times when they will literally not tell you anything and they don't want to talk to you, unfortunately, and that's not in my power. I can't do anything about that, but
That's a good agent.
try. I will do my best to get information for you and give you the best advice, but every circumstance and home is so different. So
absolutely.
you ready to get into these?
Let's get into
these
it.
questions
I
finally?
mean, I think that update, or at least that market
Yeah.
update, was necessary though.
Yeah, I do.
People are they're distracted, but ultimately they're confused.
Yeah.
I'm confused. It's like
It's a tough market right now to.
I see so much money
It's changing so quickly.
being circulated right now. It's insane, guys. And I have to raise question, like where is this money come from? Is it rate of pay going up?
It's a crazy world right now.
Inflation's at its highest currently.
Yeah.
I mean, this is fun, but I mean, what comes up must go down, as they say. I don't predict it though.
Maybe, I don't know about.
I think
know.
this is the new normal, personally.
I agree.
Until
with you.
currency changes.
I don't think. Yeah.
Conspiracy.
Okay, so I have been priced out of South Salem. What are some alternative neighborhoods that have the same appeal but more budget friendly? Okay. Firstly, I will say, sorry to just jump in there.
No, that's great.
Okay, so you've been priced out of South Salem. Maybe you've been priced out for like a regular residential home, but there are some neighborhoods in South Salem that have either condos or townhomes or 0 lot line homes that are going to be lower in price than what your residential home would be in South Salem. So if that's something you're willing, now there are also condos that are like almost $1 million because they're really beautiful, new, like right downtown. We also have that in Salem, but there are some older, not updated, but still great, solid, move-in ready homes that could be good options for you if you're willing to look at other options. So are you set on a residential home only? Is the first thing if you really want to be in South Salem, because that first home could get you to the next home. But what do you think as far as like to answer the rest of the question?
So to answer your rest of the question, I think we're reverting to location. South Salem, it's important for you to be around. So what I'm going to do is draw a radius around South Salem.
Yeah.
A lot of my clients would be, okay, I don't mind a 15 more minute drive. Yeah, it's the road I don't want to take to work every day, but at least I'm investing into something and not a rental. So let's go outskirts. South Salem, it's on the downside, in my opinion, of Commercial Street, that hillside. Everything west of Commercial Street, I would consider South Salem for the most part before you get to downtown. Well, you'll have South River Road, Monmouth. Okay, I'd be hitting Monmouth, smaller town, college town, Independence, yeah. Monmouth, Dallas, if you're willing. Now let's go down the I-5 corridor. Talbot, Marion, Jefferson would probably be the furthest you're going to be wanting to go, location-wise. But keep in mind, We have I-5. The I-5 corridor. You're gonna hit the exit. Bam. You're here in 10 minutes. My brother lives in Jefferson. So it's one of those good alternatives price-wise, but then we also have to look at availability and what is available in these smaller communities. And believe it or not, these smaller communities are being really, really productive, especially in their pricing, because to me they're so astronomically high for what you get, a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,400 square foot home. You know, when they become available, you need to find the right home, and that's why the communication side of having the real estate agent like Mariah and I is all that most important, because if we're not finding it, then our job's useless. So use us. Please send us an address. Send us a location you prefer to be in, because if you're outpriced, you're outpriced. You can't do anything about it. When it comes to lending, you just can't. You can't afford it.
Right.
So I'd say venture out. Monmouth,
Independence,
Dallas at the furthest. Jefferson, Marion, Oregon.
Yeah.
Talbot.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, I mean, Kaiser.
Kaiser's expensive though.
It is
if we're
expensive.
talking
That's
affordable,
what I'm saying. Like,
I feel like Kaiser's
get out of Salem.
a little more expensive than Salem.
But I say that
Turner's more expensive. Turner used to be like a little rural town on the outskirts that you could buy in, but now to save a little, now it's
become
gone
a
up for
branch
sure.
of Salem. I mean, I thought that for years now. It's kind of a shame, to be honest. They've lost their touch, as I would say.
I like what you said. I think I agree with you about Independence, Monmouth, Dallas. I've definitely helped buyers buy out there and get a little more for their money. What are some other? I'm trying to think. Albany is Staten.
I like Staten, but
Almsville,
they're lower than South Salem. Is what I'm trying to say.
Almsville is lower than South Salem still.
Yes.
All
the
that's
smaller
a little town out there. Albany isn't. I would say it's not like a small rural town like one of those. It is smaller than Salem, and it still is competitive, but the prices are a little lower than South Salem at least.
Albany is great.
A little bit. It's getting close though. It is getting close. Okay.
But those are my recommended.
Yeah, those are areas I would check out.
I would take
totally.
If you're outpriced, you're outpriced. Now, let's lead it to what is your longest distance you're willing to travel to work, or what is your absolutes you just can't live without, and that's our job to help you find something, and vice versa.
Because we could go the other direction too and say Lyons, Oregon,
exactly.
Shaw, Mill City, where your listing is that we were talking about.
And most of the clients work in Salem, by the way.
Yes. And it's just a commute. It's just how far you're willing to go out. And that's something we can totally talk about. If you're thinking about moving here, like I said, let's talk. Let's set up a time and we can do either a FaceTime in person if you're in the area, or over the phone appointment, and just get all your questions answered and try to put a game plan in place for you. But those are all towns. Write those down. Do some research. Look them up on Google Maps. See how far they are from your town you're going to be moving, or your work you're going to be relocating for, or whatever it is, and just see what you think. So next question is, I'm thinking about moving to the area from another state. I've never been to the Salem, Oregon area, trying to decide which area is best for families with children. There were 3 options: Albany, South Salem, or West Salem. That's a tough one.
On 3, let's do one of the 3 together. So
okay.
You got your answer?
Yes.
On 3. 1, 2, 3. South
all
Salem.
Of them.
Wow, dude. Okay, all of them. Sales girl.
No, I definitely. There's nothing wrong with.
There is nothing wrong with them. It was just a personal choice for me.
In either one. Either one. I would live in all 3 of those places with children. None of them they're all 3 excellent places. And they're actually, I would say, 3 of the top places that I have relocation buyers moving to. Is usually that's one of the 3 they're looking in, either Albany, South Salem, or West Salem. So that should be encouraging to you trying to make your decision, because usually that's where they're going to. West Salem has beautiful, new, great, top-rated schools, but a little bit lower prices than South Salem. South Salem's going to be like the highest price point in Salem. So South Salem's definitely, it's very desirable, but also not as affordable. You can get a little more for your money.
South Salem, West Salem, Albany.
You think Albany? Well, it depends on the side of town though, because there's like Albany.
But don't get me
Albany.
wrong. Like, I'm listing the 3 in like order. That's just price range.
Yes.
Not because of rating.
Yes.
Okay. I am agreeing. So I'm biased. We live in South Salem. So
Yeah.
I really love the area we live in. That's why I chose to move in this side, and we're really enjoying it. So that's what's in my mind, like repeatedly. But you're exactly right. All of our clients, not all of them, but most of our clients, especially moving out of state, ask us that same exact question.
Yeah.
The 3 areas you just chose and selected, I think you're in really good hands.
It's personal preference. All 3 of those areas, because you mentioned you have a family, all 3 of those areas are really close to great parks. All 3 of them are conveniently located. You got a Costco. I mean, West Salem's a little further, but it's still, there's things that are close to West Salem. All 3 of them are convenient. You can find good schools in all 3 areas if that's important to you. Albany, a lot of our clients who are working in Corvallis will choose to move to Albany because Corvallis is very expensive. The prices have gone up there so much.
Absolutely.
It's more expensive than Salem. So if you're not wanting to pay to live in Corvallis, Albany could be a great option. It's a super close commute because it's just 15 minutes from
Albany, Corvallis. Yeah, it's about 15 minutes.
Yeah,
very convenient.
It's kind of in between.
One road.
It's kind of in between Salem and Corvallis. Albany is, so it's just south of Salem. So yeah, I'm sorry, I can't really tell you. I think all 3 are going to be great options.
She said all of them. I said South Salem.
But that's your personal preference, so you can't really.
I think you just have more diversity, and you're more centrally located.
Yeah.
Being in South Salem.
Yeah.
You can generally choose high schools and elementary schools. But ultimately you have, Commercial Street, which will get you from one end of the town to the other and downtown and to I-5. And you just have more options, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But there is a price to pay, and that's generally the home prices.
Right. Okay, so right now in Salem, Oregon, is 20% down payment enough in this market?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, I still see clients putting $10,000 down, $15,000 down, FHA loans.
Yes.
3.5% down.
Yes.
These interest rates, they're at what, 5 point something, 5.85. That's still pretty astronomically low.
Yeah.
Not historically low, like the 2%, like I get to brag about at 2.99, but economically we're still at a really good interest rate, guys. The only difference is house prices have escalated pretty tremendously, and
but we are
that's
so low on inventory, so low that in order for homes to for prices to actually drop, you're going to have so many homes come onto the market. And why would, I don't know. We're not talking about this right now.
Well,
I don't know why all these homes would come onto the market when people have so much equity. They're not going to be going into forbearance.
My question is where are people moving?
That's true.
And in a lot of the market, I still firmly believe, which I do prospect to, is 55 plus, because they just have equity in these homes. And a lot of my current and previous listing appointments have been assisted care clients. They're transitioning into assisted living, which is their best choice and of their best interests that they select. So that's where the majority of my listings have been coming from.
That makes sense. Okay, so last question is: should we be leaving wiggle room on the houses we're looking at right now?
Wiggle room as
in lowing, I always for the last so long that have been telling my clients, you need to be looking well under your budget because we're going to be riding well over. Do we need to still be looking under budget?
Can I answer or do you want to?
You answer.
Okay.
Yeah,
so from what I'm seeing, guys, to be honest, is at ask price offers. At ask price, just follow the listing, which is the broker, your realtor's choice, writing the offer. They see the whole listing, what title agency to work with, what excluded, what's included. Follow the actual outline of the listing and follow directions, and look good. And whatever broker's representing you, if they're making the right call and connection to the listing agent, I firmly believe your offer is going to be accepted. I have been seeing a ton of FHA offers being presented in those price categories, and they've been getting accepted as well. So that's encouraging for a lot of first-time home buyers that don't have a lot down. But ultimately, that's just encouraging on our real estate market because things are selling. And like we said, it's completely different, yes, than it was in 16, 17, and 18 before pre-pandemic days.
It's still more competitive than it was then.
This is we're still on a cloud right now.
It's a breath of fresh air, though.
It is. And honestly, if you're a real estate agent, like, this should be honestly a fresh breath there. Unless you're brand new and you're like, oh my gosh,
what am I doing? I wrote a counter offer the other day for the first time, and I cannot tell you how long. I know,
right? Is
and
that
it
weird?
Felt so good. I was like,
weird.
This is exciting. We get to counter. This has been so long, because for so long, you couldn't expect a counter. I mean, even now, there's a lot of situations, a lot of houses where you can't. You got to put your best foot forward still. But it was non-existent. Like, I haven't even said the word counter offer in 2 years.
Seriously,
so
it was
that's
unheard
pretty
of.
wild. Yes,
it's unheard of.
It's wild.
So,
yes,
that's exciting. That's what's new, though.
Yeah.
And ultimately, if you're wanting and willing to get your offer accepted, I'm not saying we're the perfect agent, but we could be the right fit for you guys. So if that's of interest for you, feel free to reach out to Mariah or I. You get to personally watch us weekly. In our own home, talking to you. So that's just another relationship boundary that we get to create and develop over time.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for watching. We hope that you grabbed value from our show today. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already, because we do come on here pretty much every week and talk about real estate. And also head over to our channel if you are thinking about moving to our area. We have multiple playlists talking all about our area, neighborhood tours, sides of town, where to live, and all of that. So be sure to head over there and check those out, and hopefully that will help you too. And we'll see you next time.